Om Shanti and a very good morning to all. Today we are going to read the Murli dated 26th January 1971. The title of the Murli is Benefits of Taking on a Responsibility. So in today's Murli, Baba is looking at each one's three forms. That is the present form of a Brahman, then the form of an angel, and the future form, that is the deity form. Now, while visualizing the forms, Baba has asked that to what extent do you believe that you are going to become a deity? And if you believe that you are going to be one, then to what extent do you experience it now? Further, Baba has categorized his children in 4 groups. So the ones who are serviceable, then the others are sensible, successful, and the other group is of the valuable. So there are 4 categories: serviceable, sensible, successful. Now Baba says that many are there who have their names in all these 4, and many are also such souls who are present only in one of these categories. So as we read the Murli together, we shall check on these factors. Okay. Baba says, you children are those who transform the world. You are the support of the world. You are those who uplift the world, as well as being those who are an example in front of the world. Support have total responsibility. You now have responsibility to make many others follow your every step. So this is not an ordinary responsibility, right? See, Baba saying that you now have responsibility to make many others follow your every step. But then for this, we will have to check ourselves. Baba says, first of all, you had the Sakar form in front of you. Follow Father. When we had Brahma Baba, so Dadis or the Didis or our ancestors, they used to follow Baba, right? Because he became an example. He was an example in the Sakar form. But Baba says, now you are the instrument images. So always think that in whatever way you take a step, all other souls will follow you in the same way. Earlier Baba was there, Dadis were there, but the new coming souls, new Baba's children, they will not be able to meet Dadis. They will listen to their, about them, they will know about them, but they will not be able to meet them. So Baba says, you are the instrument images. And this becomes a great responsibility. So always think that in whatever way you take a step, all other souls will follow you in the same way. You have this responsibility because you become examples for all souls. The blessings you receive from all of them bring lightness. You also receive help, and due to this, your responsibility becomes light. So on one hand, Baba says that you have to take up this responsibility. But on the other hand, Baba says that when you become examples, you start receiving blessings, and the burden, or rather the responsibility, becomes light. Then you don't have to take care, Baba will take care. Even while carrying out a huge task, you will experience it as though someone is enabling you to do it. This responsibility is one that finishes your tiredness. The mind does not enjoy being free. Responsibility helps a great deal in creating a stage. When Bapdada sees you Maharathi children, so what title Baba is giving us? Maharathi children. When Bapdada sees you Maharathi children, he sees the present form of all of you, that is the Brahman form, the final form of this birth. So the final form of the Brahman birth is that of an angel, right? As well as the future form of your next birth, that is of a deity form, in front of him. All three appear in front of him. Do you have the clear feeling that you are going to become that? That you will be wearing a crown and be seated on a throne. So, and the question here is that, do we realize this? Do I, the soul, realize that yes, I am the one sitting on the throne wearing a crown? Further, Baba says, as you progress further, you will also experience this, just as you experienced it practically from the Sakar form. The Karmatit stage was very clear, and the awareness of the future form was also very clear. So this is an example that we have of Brahma Baba, right? When Baba reached that, the ultimate, the Karmatit stage. So we've heard that, Baba never used to get into a lot of discussion or into a lot of too many things. When anybody used to go or felt like speaking to Baba, so Baba used to understand it in a very few words, rather than a very few statements. Not much of discussion or not much of explanation was required, because Baba never felt like getting into coming down of that stage. So that was the Karmatit stage, where he had less listening but then more understanding, where Baba was in a stage of packing up, or rather wrapping up things. But then there was also the awareness of the future form. Baba had this intoxication that, I am going to be the one. I am going to be the future king, rather the future ruler of the golden age, of that of Vishnu. So I also recall that once Dadi Janki shared that, when she was little, she just peeped inside the history hall and saw that, Brahma Baba was all alone, but he was dancing. So Baba saw Dadi peeping through the window, and Baba called her inside. So she asked Baba, Baba, what are you doing? So Baba said, yes. Baba replied that, Dekho, Shiv Baba hame kya se kya bana raha hai? So that the intoxication was so much that Baba always felt like, enjoying that stage, that future form of that of Vishnu. And the result of this was like, whoever used to go and meet Baba, they used to definitely have visions of Vishnu, or visions of Narayan. Further, Baba says, the sanskars of the future form were clearly visible in the present form of that time. So the experience that all of you have will be as though you shed that body, and that there is one ready waiting for you. You will have such a clear experience through the power of your intellect's yoga. This can happen only when we have a very clear intellect, right? Now, day by day, through your service, through being your cooperative, and through your power of finishing your sanskars, you will know your final form and your future form. Previously, it was said that a time will come when you will clearly be able to see those who are close and those who are distant, but it is now the time when the souls of the divine family can understand who the closed jewels are. Hmm? Baba said this in 1971, and we are currently in 2022. So it is rather time that even we can understand that how close are we, or rather what is pending, so that we can cover that up and go into the stage, reach that stage. Baba says, those who wish to come close will come close in spite of their circumstances. Now, this is deep. See, Baba says, those who wish to come close will come close in spite of their circumstances. For those who wish to become distant, even the circumstances will become instruments to help them in that, so that they will not be able to come close, even though they may want to. So it is like the time is also the way you want it to be. Like if we intend to, or we have an intention of, the pure intention of making some effort and becoming what we wish to, then the time is also supportive. The confluence age is a blessed age. The time is a blessed time for Brahmins, right? वरदानी जिसको बाबा कहते हैं ना, आप संकल्प करो और समय पूरा सहयोग देगा. Rather it is good or bad. So it is so clear that Baba is saying, those who wish to come close will come close in spite of the circumstances. So no matter what the circumstances are, if you have a firm determination that, yes, I wish to reach that stage, and even the time will support you. And the otherwise is also true. The opposite is also true. Further, Baba says, this vision of the future is now taking place in a practical form on the field of service. It is now not difficult to know your future. When Baba is saying these words, that it is now not difficult to know your future, then definitely we should start experiencing, rather we should start, most of us, we do experience a lot of it, but even in the practical form, clearly, right? Each of you individually has to make a special program for yourself. Just as you make a program for service, in the same way, you can make a program as to how much attention you paid to your pilgrimage of remembrance in between from morning till night. जो याद की यात्रा जो हम बोलते हैं ना, for the entire day, how are we planning our day? So I was emphasizing on that. You should keep this diary. Make your plan of remembrance at Amrit Vela. For instance, when you remain busy in a physical task, in that too, let there be the discipline of staying in remembrance for a short while. At that time, remind others for 2 to 3 minutes that it is now the time for you to remember Baba, and so they should also stay in remembrance. Like we have traffic control, in between we have scheduled time slots. When we take a little break and then we sit in remembrance. Baba says, just as traffic is stopped at fixed times, so that no matter how urgent something may be, even if a patient has to be taken to hospital, that will also wait. Similarly, make your timetable like this as much as possible, so that others will see that that is your time, which is fixed for remembrance, and so they would also follow you. So the very first step, what we need to do is we need to plan the time of remembrance well, so that even we succeed in, utilizing most of our time, and even others follow. No matter, Bible says that no matter how difficult or rather how busy you are, but take out some time. No matter what task it is, adjust it slightly and take out a few minutes for remembrance, and it will influence the atmosphere. Everyone will follow one another. The intellect will receive rest and be filled with power. The atmosphere will receive cooperation and there will be uniqueness visible. So we do have these experiences, right? When little by little, when we set a time slot and we utilize the time, so the vibrations, the atmosphere also becomes cooperative, and the mind also receives some rest. Earlier, you used to remind one another, Shiv Baba Yad Hai. That is, are you remembering Shiv Baba? So in the same way, when you see that someone is in physical consciousness a great deal, you should adopt such a peaceful form and not say anything to that person so that he can understand just through a signal. What is Baba trying to say here? Physical consciousness is that of the in Hindi we say na Bahar Mukta. When we get engaged in a lot of our tasks and we forget about Baba, coming into a lot of discussion, rather expanding things out. So Baba says that even if you meet such a soul, do not say anything to that soul in words, but you maintain that stage of that peaceful form. You maintain a stage of an antarmukhi, so that the other person automatically realizes that this is a signal, I should stay quiet. So nothing has to be done through words, but it has to be in the stage, through the stage. And remembrance, definitely. Through this, the atmosphere will remain spiritual. The final stage of you children is that of granting visions. Sakshatkar Murat, right? Granting visions means Sakshatkar Murat. Whatever form you become in a practical way, that is the image of granting visions you will become. So it is well said in Hindi that abhi साक्षात में जैसी मूर्त अभी होगी वैसा ही साक्षात्कार फिर औरों को होगा. So Baba said that whatever form you become in a practical way, he's talking about now, that is the image of granting visions you will become. That will become an image. That will become your sakshatkar form. So when all of you become images that grant visions, your sanskars will also become like that in a practical form. The more you charge yourself, the more you will be able to successfully carry out the task of being an in charge. So maybe we are, while at work or at home, wherever, the more we take charge of ourselves, we will be successfully able to play the role of an in charge, right? You should take every step while considering yourself to be an instrument, because the vision of the souls of the entire world is on you souls. Just as people have a vision through you of godly love, of elevated knowledge, and of elevated divine activities, in the same way, they should have just as clear a vision of the avyakt stage. Now, this is very deep. Like, many do experience God's love, elevated knowledge, or, it comes out well through our actions. Brahmins are also, good at this. It comes very beautifully through our divine activities that people can make out this person is unique. But then Baba says they should have just as clear a vision of the avyakt stage as well. So people around should also experience the avyakt stage as well. You should create such a plan that anyone can feel that you are an angel who is walking and moving just as you experienced the angelic stage in the Sakar form. Even while having a huge responsibility, Baba continued to give you the experience of the subtle and the incorporeal stages, that is, the Nirakari and the Akari forms, right? Although Baba was in the Sakar, he continued to give us these experiences. The final form of the stage of all of you should also be clearly visible. No matter how peaceless, restless, or frightened someone may be, the power from a second of your drishti, your attitude and consciousness should make him completely peaceful. No matter how much someone may be in a physical consciousness, he should experience the avyak stage as soon as he comes in front of you. So to what extent do we experience this? We first need to check ourselves, right? How much are we soul conscious? How much are we in that stage of an antarmukhi so that the others will experience that as well? Your drishti should work like rays. The result up to the present time is that you are successful in the task of giving the light of knowledge as master sons of knowledge, but you still have to perform the task of destroying the germs of the sanskars of each and every soul with the might of rays. And Baba says that you have passed in giving light, but the task of giving might still remains. So another checking point that Baba is giving us, that we do have knowledge, and we also are successful in spreading this light of knowledge. And Baba says that you have to become mighty as well. You also have to use this might to spoil the germs of the sanskars of each and every soul. Further, Baba has a list of 4 categories of children: serviceable, sensible, successful, and valuable. Not all are successful and not all are valuable. Now, we shall just listen to this with a bit carefully so that we'll understand what Baba is trying to say. Some become valuable through their virtues and character, but they are not successful in the planning of service. Each of you can know your own chart. You have to check in which list your name would be. Some have their name in all 4, some in 2, some in 3, and some in 1. So we need to check today that where do we feel that our name is or the name would be. In all 4 or only in 1, 2, or 3. So the main virtue of those who are valuable is that they themselves value their own time, thoughts, and service. This is why others also give value to the thoughts, words, and service that take place through them, or they are given value according to the drama. Everyone sees them with a vision of their being valuable. Are the serviceable ones first or the sensible ones first? Both have their own specialities. Those who are sensible have a planning intellect to a greater extent, but they lack the speciality of putting it into a practical form, whereas those who are serviceable do little planning, but they have the special virtue of putting everything into a practical form. So a very clear definition of those who are valuable, serviceable, and sensible. Some have sense and also the virtue of being serviceable. So some have both of this. In the task of this establishment, both are essential. For one, their future is created through their thoughts and plans, and for the other, it is created through their actions. There is a greater impact from the latter. That is, Baba says that when you perform or when you express, when your actions express, your deeds express your future, then that creates more of an impact. And for those who are images of success, their result is based on their avyak stage. So the success will be revealed by your avyak stage, by in which stage are we? That reveals our success. To what extent have we received success? Now, some make plans and put them into a practical form, but they do not have as much success. They can be serviceable, but not all can be an image of success. So it is as though some have received the blessing of success according to the drama. They have to make little effort. They receive success easily. This is each one's part within the drama. So very clearly, Baba explained all the 4 titles, all the 4 categories, right? Further, Baba's meeting the teachers. Teachers are teachers anyway. Teachers should always have in their consciousness that they are first student before they become teachers. With the consciousness of being a student, you will be able to remember the study. When you yourself study something, you will be able to enable others to study. If you do not have a student life, you cannot make others into students. In order to change the atmosphere, you should always consider yourself to be a master son. What is the task of the sun? Firstly, to give light, and secondly, to destroy the rubbish. I've already mentioned this, to spread light and also become mighty, also spread the might to destroy the rubbish. So always check whether both of these tasks are being carried out by the rays of your activity. All souls should receive light and the rubbish should also be destroyed. If, for instance, they receive light but the rubbish is not destroyed, you can understand that there is no power. When the sun is not hot, the germs are not destroyed. A very practical analogy. If someone has little power, then that one will give the light knowledge, but the germs of the old sanskars will not be destroyed. The more powerful something is, the quicker it destroys other things. If there is little, so you have to become powerful. Do not think that you are not educated. You have studied the knowledge of the world, and so everything is included in that. Acha. So to our beloved Bab Dada, loveful remembrance and namaste. Now we will take a pause for a minute and would request you to reflect on these 4 categories that Baba mentioned today of being serviceable, sensible, successful, and valuable. And we shall check that where do we believe our names would be? In one of these, rather in 2, or in all the 4? So in this 1 minute, we shall just churn on this, rather reflect on these categories, and then we shall share the points of the Murli. Cha, Om Shanti. Om Shanti. We can now unmute ourselves and share the points, rather reflections or whatever that you've churned.
Om Shanti, sir. Good
Om
morning,
Shanti.
everyone. I like this point when Baba says, then are you able to see yourself as a deity right at the moment? Because that is your future form as well. But are you able to see that form as yourself right now or not? So that's a reflection point. The intoxication of what I am becoming is there, but I wonder I should be able to see that on a daily basis. But that's a reflection point.
Okay.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Good morning, everyone. I like this point that I am an example. I am the one who is the support of the world. And there's so much of responsibility that many others are following my every step, my every thought, word, and action. So I need to be having a lot of attention to my inner world, which the outer world is following me. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, sister. Good morning, everyone.
Shanti.
I really love this point about being like the sun and being successful and powerful with such beautiful strength and energy that you can destroy the germs of everything. And not only in your own self, you see yourself as the sun, but you spread that light all around, whether at work or at home. I just love that point. And I think it's really, really powerful to think you're like that sun, spreading that vibration with Bab Dada's rays coming all over, and you're part of that beautiful energy. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Good morning, all. I also like this point what Papa said. You now have the responsibility to make others follow you. So, which actually we have to pay a lot of attention while carrying out any kind of a task, as if we are on the stage and others are watching us. So when we have this sort of an awareness all the time, then I guess all our karma will become, our actions will become perfect. So maintaining this awareness of the day, I think is kind of a challenge. But this beautiful thought that Papa gave us is really nice. It works because when we have this awareness that I am a role model, I should do anything that I do, others are going to follow me. So I should be responsible. If they are walking on a wrong path, then it's me who's responsible. So I should correct myself first and take me to the right path and show them what needs to be done and how. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, sister.
Om Shanti.
I really like when you said we have to find out what category. But sister, I found out being that when Baba has given the title of responsibility, there has to be a link from all the things which he mentioned. Like if you see even in responsibility, it is response and ability. So the result is the response, and that what I have is the ability when I do a task honestly and I do it with some sense of a purpose. So purpose Baba has given us, you have to transform, you have to support, you are the ones who uplift, you are the ones who are an example. So in that purpose, Baba has given us a four purpose, what we have to do. And yes, you do all this because now, Baba, I'm just an instrument. What I would like to practice over here for this responsibility, as I told you, Baba has given us the aim. He has also given us the form. I like more than the present, the final form, which is what I would like to practice today. Through my power of drishti, vritti, and sthiti, Baba saying, you've already given light. How do I give might? This is one thing which we lack, to fill people with power. That is my ability. And I would like to do that by being serviceable. Of course, sensible is needed, but sensible people cannot put things into practice. But I want to, because there is a response which Baba is asking from me, I would like to be serviceable. For this, my favorite title are always two. One is Lighthouse, other is Gyan Surya. I think this is how deeply I'm going to link what I want to do with what Baba has given me, the ingredients, the recipe for it.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. And to add on, sister took it in a very beautiful way that she's going to take the category of service today, rather. But if we just think in let us just take it slightly more deep. Do you think that these 4 categories that Baba has given us, are these correlated in some way, or not dependent on each other? Or would anybody like to share something on this? Yes, Rakesh.
Yeah, definitely interdependent. So Baba gives a link as well today on all the 4 categories. To become valuable, you need to be looking at your virtues and character. And we look at your values and character that will allow you to perform the tasks. You'll be able to take up the service. So I believe each one of them are interrelated to each other. The only thing that I'm getting for myself is, looking at the chart for myself, look at a chart as to where are we in these 4 categories and where one needs to elevate so that there can be an equilibrium. There's a possibility that one may be, one soul would be good in one of it compared to the other one. But one will have to look at all the 4 types to perform. That's how I look at it. Anybody else can reflect on it.
Can I add on, sister, to what Rakhi Ben said?
Yes, you can, but
valuable. No, just to mention in one sentence. See, for any sensible person to plan, you need a value, you need a decision part, you need the part to share, you need the deep founding to go down deep within me. So yes, I need planning, but what is the use of just keeping the planning in my diary? I have to put it out to the world. So for that, I need to be serviceable. And if I do that, I get blessings from people, which will enable me to go forward in whatever I do. So I'm successful.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Om Shanti. According to me, there's a link between all the 4 things. Unless you are not sensible, you cannot be serviceable, but there should be a limit to each and everything. There should be a balance of each and everything. When we plan something properly and put it, make short-term plans, as Baba said, that you have to be in your avyak stage in order to be serviceable, to bring your action to practical form. You have to be in the avyak stage. So you have to think on what you have to do, but not to an extent that you forget to put that into action also. So it's all about remembrance. First, you need to be sensible, then you can be serviceable. And when you become serviceable, you gain the experience. So yes, you become valuable. And when you share that experience with others, make
Om Shanti.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Am I audible? Yeah. Om
Yes.
Shanti. The first, in my view, the sensible is the one to have knowledge. And once I have knowledge from Baba that I am a soul and I have got these virtues, and how can I am responsible soul and the knowledge. And then this knowledge, when applied, I offer myself, my mind and intellect and sanskars for the service of others, then I become serviceable. But while doing service, I need to be very determined and be in connection with Baba to be successful. My own sanskars should not come into the way. Otherwise, I will not be successful. And if I am successful, the another last check is whether I am valuable to others or not. I mean, I am like Bap Saman or not, uh, which is of value to others who can follow my example, and they can also be Bap Saman. Om Shanti.
Yes, yes, very nice.
Om Shanti, sister.
Om Shanti, sister. Om Shanti. Om Shanti.
Oh, am I audible?
Am I audible? Yes, but you can slightly check your mic because we can hear your voice twice. It's repeating. Yes, Sanjay Bhai, would you like to say something?
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
As Baba
Is
talked
it better
about.
now? Is it better now?
Hello.
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 Sorry, is it better?
Yes, sister, if we can just wait for a minute, let Sanjay Bhai finish and then you can share.
I'm sorry.
No, okay.
What it was stated by Baba, that successful, valuable, sensible, and serviceable. I take it as first successful in transforming self. Because unless and until we are in a position to be, we are successful in transforming ourselves, transforming our negativity into positivity, transforming our body consciousness to soul consciousness. And as what Baba wants, if we are transformed in that way, if we are successful in that, then we become sensible. And when we are sensible, then we are in a position to absorb the energies which we are getting from Baba. And when you get that energy, the knowledge from Baba, we become valuable. And after valuable, because serviceable is a state actually. When a person thinks that I am successful, that means he thinks that he is doing service. But the thing is that I am in a serviceable state, then service takes place automatically. Services are not successful and unsuccessful. Service is always successful if we come in that state of serviceable state. And when we come to the serviceable state, service happens. Just like a rose. No? Purusharth is to grow a rose. But when the rose grows fully and the rose becomes quite flowery, the fragrance spreads automatically. The successful means that are we successful in growing a rose to the full extent, to the best extent that is successful, and when it and successful, that means it is it in its a serviceable state? That means the fragrance spreads automatically. So success should be the first, and then the last stage is serviceable. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Yes, yes. Balvinder, sister, you can share now.
Om Shanti, Divine Family. Being a kindergarten student, I consider myself belong to category 1, which is knowledge and understanding. I'm learning how to put in practice. So what happened? I'm going to give you 2 examples. Then you can let me know if there is any correlation between all 4 categories, but I do not know yet. For example, one of my friend, my neighbor, she went to for treatment for hospital for cancer. And when she came back, what happened is I wrote a beautiful card full of blessing, how to empower her when she came back. And as soon as she read my card, she cried and she called me immediately. And just 5-10 minutes ago, I went to her home again. I wrote a beautiful card again. I wrote beautiful blessings, full of love, peace, joy. And she called me again. She said, Balvinder, where do you get this language? I have never ever seen. I'm 89-year-old. I have never ever. Each time you send it to me, you write beautiful word. I am keeping those as a treasure and I read those. When I read those, it gives me so much comfort and joy. So I love this Baba's language. When we see him as ocean of, he is son of knowledge. So just seeing him that, I love to become master ocean of love, peace, joy, gratitude. I enjoy myself and I'm becoming embodiment of that. And I'm sharing. When I share, it gives so much happiness and people get so curious to find out what is the real source. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Wonderful. So it is like having value for these versions, having value for this godly knowledge. So the first step is that you kept, this knowledge first. You value these pearls of knowledge, correct? And then you framed it down into a card. You carried out, that is, you performed service. That is the second step. You did some service, right? You sensibly planned the service out that, I'm going to put these versions, these Baba's valuable pearls into a card and I'm going to gift it to someone. So that is another step, that is service. First is value, and then you sensibly planned your service. Then you carried out that in a practical form, and then you received success. So are you able to correlate these four things now?
Yes.
Yes.
At
And
this
you
level,
did that wonderfully. Baba helped you in this, right?
Yeah, I love it. Thank you. I found you now. I am going to progress next year. Thank you.
Okay. Om Shanti. Yes, anybody would like to add on to anything?
One more point today's Murli that Baba is focused and he's mentioned, and I remember that Dadi Janki always telling this, that she is a student. And Baba is telling us the same thing today. When he meets with teachers, that always remember that you are a student first before being a teacher. While listening to this, what I was getting was each moment, whatever is showing up in our worldly existence also, being a student, are we ready to learn from all experiences of people around us? So I'm taking up this practice of being a student every moment. Om Shanti.
Okay, yes. Very nice. Okay, so would anybody like to add on to anything, any point?
Om Shanti, sister. So
Om
Baba
Shanti.
today mentions about the remembrance. So we have to give time for remembrance. And by doing that and by focusing that, we can bring a lot of changes in our stage and form. So that is, our intellect will receive power. So everyone should understand that we are going for that. And like a traffic, even the patients should also wait, because if there is anything, we cannot go into that example. Also, I like that, sister. So the environment will also be created and our stage will also be improved. So whatever may be the situations, we should not say no to the time for remembrance. So we have to go and sit, and by doing that and being detached from that physical consciousness, then we can bring so many transformations that we want actually. Thank you, Sister. Om Shanti.
Yes, yes. Wonderfully shared. It is like giving value to your time, so that the others will also give value to your time, because we are valuable, right? Baba said that. Okay. Would anybody
Thank
like
you.
to add on? Yes.
Om Shanti, sister.
Om Shanti.
Today, Baba Dada said one point, if you want to come close to the Baba, definitely if you have pure thought or pure desire to come to close to the Baba, you will come close to the Baba. And if you don't want to come too close to Baba, even situations are favorable, then you will not be able to come too close to Baba. Om Shanti.
It is like that the Hindi movie dialogue, no? Agar, what is it? If
Yes,
you want
sister.
something
Puri
badly,
पूरी
puri
कायनात
kainat
से
se. हाँ जी बोलिए बोलिए आप ही बोलिए.
नहीं सिस्टर, यू कैन
नहीं
कैरी.
please carry on.
अगर आप किसी चीज को दिल से चाहोगे तो पूरी कायनात भी आपको उसे मिलाने में लग जाएगी, शायद कुछ ऐसा.
It is because the time is blessed. The conference age is the blessed age. So if we take just even one thought, but a pure thought, maybe for our own effort, maybe for someone's goodwill, for someone's better, rather, purusharth, for seva, or maybe for self-service, Baba says that it will multiply. It will come back to you in that way. And each and everything will become supportive in that, because the time is a blessed one. Vardhani Samay. Correct? Okay. So would anybody
Yeah,
like
and
to?
therefore, while just one more thing to add on this is, while we're thinking and manifesting, we need to be very careful. Kainat only takes whatever we think. It doesn't think about whether it is right or wrong, whether it is positive or negative. So there's another deeper point that Baba is bringing in today's Murli, that be very careful about your own thoughts.
Yes. Very nice. Very rightly said. No? Baba has mentioned that similar thing, but two frames. Everything will be accepted, the right as well as the wrong. So be very careful. Very nice. Okay. Shall we move towards the meditation then, sister? Raki sister?
Yes, Deepika.
Okay. Om Shanti. Let's sit back for a few minutes. Quietly, just reflecting on the self. I, the soul, I am a valuable pearl. I am Baba's divine child, responsible child. Reflecting on a few points that I will carry back with me. My actions, my words, my deeds, my thoughts play a great role in structuring, in creating my future. Taking up this practice today, being very careful with my thoughts for myself and for others. I look at myself today, moving, carrying out work, but in an angelic form. Coming into contact with people, but in the form of an angel. Understanding deeply that I have a responsibility. I will carry my day today with Baba, he being an angel, I being an angel, beautifully carrying out my responsibility in whatever I do today. Thank you, Baba. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Deepika Ben. Thank you, Divine Family. See you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Till that time, have a wonderful day. Om Shanti.